Good day, everybody. This is Matt McGall with 330 to Go High School Football Show, and I am currently joined with the 7-0 Manchester Panthers coach Kevin Stacy. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I see right now it looks like you're at school. I see a little bit of a football helmet over the back. So
Yep.
I appreciate you taking a break to sneak away into the janitor's closet. It looks like, no, I'm just teasing you, to be able to do an interview with us. Coach, 7-0, you guys are rolling right now. You guys are our game of the week this week, where you have Triway taking on. Coach, how are you feeling currently right now where you're sitting at this juncture of the season?
We're we're feeling pretty good. We're knock on wood, we're pretty healthy at this point, and that's a big factor in a conference like ours when you're playing in a Pac-7 conference, and it's we're one of the smaller schools in our league. I think we're the second smallest. Excuse me, second smallest, and for us. I'm just happy that the kids are, experiencing the success that they're having. They put in a lot of work, and we've had a lot of distractions, good distractions, with building a new school, having a new weight room, getting into a new locker room. Those types of things kind of made our summer pretty hectic, but the kids fought through a lot of that. And, we're just feeling like we still have things to improve and to work on. And that's what's, I think, most exciting is we haven't peaked yet. So we're still prepping hard and practicing hard, and the kids are really bought in.
Coach, I noticed early in the season when you guys jumped off, you won your first couple. The game that really stuck out to me, and I'm going back, and I don't want to overstep any of those other teams, but it was a significant win. I have to ask about that Northwest game. That right there to me, I think was like this point where like, okay, we're not just here by accident. All that work and preparation that we've done in the offseason has really gotten to this point, and the team really starts to believe, and then you just roll through Orville, Kent South, Tuslaw. So, Coach, if am I right? Was there something to that game that you really saw a turning point, and you guys have built on success since that game, or is it just me make believing something up right now?
No, I think internally there was a big, that was a big game, big moment. There's a lot of history there between the two schools. I graduated from Northwest.
I didn't know if I wanted to bring it up, but that's kind
Yeah,
of
no,
the
that,
reason I knew. There's a lot
I
of
have,
good feeling there, though. I mean, that's a
yeah, no,
rivalry, and that's what you want.
right. Yeah. There's no bad blood between, Coach DeMarco and myself and the staff or anything like that. It was just one of those circumstances where I had a chance to, get uncomfortable, in a new, in a new form of a new life in a way. But it's been a lot of fun. And for our kids, I think that was a good like aha moment of where, yeah, we saw a team that was a really good team, really well coached. And the things that we're working on at practice, our technique, our fundamentals were the things that kind of got us through that game. And we have a lot of tough nosed kids. And we would just, there's been so much work to be done in the weight room and all the little things. We just keep preaching the little things. So yeah, to your point, I think that game was more of a, hey, we can really do this, and this stuff does work when we put our minds to it. And so from then, it was just a big confidence builder, having that monkey, the proverbial monkey, off your back.
Oh, it's the best because nobody likes that there because it just lingers. It's like the elephant in the room. I never want to have an elephant in the room. It's like just be transparent, right to the point. But with how you're talking about how the season's been going, Coach, who are a few players that have really bought in that have allowed you to continue to build on what you're currently doing in the Manchester community this season?
That's a really tough question because there's so many guys on our team, and there's a lot of unselfishness. It starts with our seniors as a core unit. I think there's 11 seniors, and they've really pushed the envelope on how we want to practice. They've raised the standards on our practice intensity. Individually, if I had to single out people, you got to look at our tailback Phil Parton. He's a sophomore, but he's over 1,000 yards rushing, 13 touchdowns. We have a stable of running backs aside from Phil, and our offensive line has been huge for us. We bring most of those guys back as well next year. We only have one senior playing on the offensive line, and then our defense. I mean, as a unit, they're only giving up I think 8.5 points a game. So
it's not a lot. It's not a lot, Coach.
it's
It's
you know
you guys
it's
are doing a tremendous job.
They're fantastic. And our defensive coordinator, Mark Yoakum, and they just do a really good job. He's been phenomenal. And my staff, I really lean on them and give them, I try to give them a lot of control on what goes on a game night. So yeah, it's kind of a, it truly is, I hate to be cliche, but it truly is a whole team feel over here right now. And I think that helps things propel going forward.
Well, like you had mentioned, going forward, this Friday, 6-1, 7-0, what would a Manchester win mean to your guys' school right now at this point in the season, as you're really kind of maybe starting to hear a little bit of noise about playoffs? Playoffs start coming in and we start kind of looking at it. And it's weird because as coaches, we always want to go each week as it is, but it's weird how around week 8, you can't help but start noticing. But what would that mean this week as you take on a very tough Triway team?
Yeah, it's a really fun week. We know it's homecoming week for us. And Triway is, an old rival of ours. They are, traditionally a spread team, but they have a really big offensive line, very good front seven on defense. They bring back 3 guys on defense that were all Pac-7 last year. So it's going to be a really big test. And to your point, like we're trying to prep for that playoff run. And it's like, hey, if you want to do anything in the playoffs, these are the types of teams that you want to beat and that you have to be able to beat. And it's atmosphere wise, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. We draw a really big crowd at home. Things for us are on the up and up, and they're going to come in giving you your best shot. And so we have to prepare well this week. And, we're trying to just shoot for 1-0. That's kind of been our mantra. 1-0, doesn't matter what's happened before or after. We're shooting for 1-0 this week.
Coach, I can't argue with that kind of model. And I can appreciate how simplifying that down, staying just the week to week. Hey, nobody's bigger than the team concepts, because in your short tenure at Manchester, you've done an awful lot of turning that around, in my opinion, rather quickly. So it's a kudos to you, but it's also to a lot of those student athletes that are buying into that and what you're building. With that being said, what's the driving force? What is it right now as you personally, and I'm asking you to be a little bit of selfishness to be able to answer this, Coach, but what is your driving force that that gets you going, that makes you want to continue to build what you're building out there in the community of Manchester?
Watching my dad be a head coach as a kid and growing up in that environment has always given me a passion to do that. I have a passion for helping kids, and there's just something about building a program that was really enticing to me. Even as an assistant coach, I've been very blessed to work for guys like, Jeff Durbin, and got to be coached by Vic Whiting, and working with John DeMarco and Matt Zerker. I've been very fortunate. But even as an assistant, there's always been something that, like, I want to do more. I want to be able to impact kids more, whether it's getting them to college, whether it's having them be better citizens, whether it's, having them change an outlook on the way that they view the world. For me, it's like, how can I make this thing that maybe at one point was different, make it different in a positive way? And so for me, it's, hey, how can we keep climbing, getting better individually, as a person, as a player. And then for me, that's what, you either get better or you don't. You get better, or you just never stay the same. You either get better or you get worse. So for me, I just push the envelope, and, it's like there's a chip on my shoulder too, because I've got a lot of pride in what I do. And I take a lot of things personally in terms of our team's success or lack thereof. And so, you always want to do well for the community and for yourself and for your family. But definitely couldn't do it without my wife, who's been a big support, and my kids.
The homestead is such a vital part to the coach that people just don't realize the brunt that the wives take, especially as the coach as well. I mean, because you come home and you're like, you carry that, you don't want to have that, that chip. Like, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but, you don't want to take what you're learning at the field and from the community back home in a negative light and take it out on the missus. So definitely got to give the wife a lot of credit there, Coach. I'm just telling you, from what I've seen, you are doing a phenomenal job out there. I love what you're doing. I love exactly everything you're saying. And that's exactly why you guys are 330 to Go's high school football game of the week as you take on Triway. Coach, leaving you with this, what do you want to tell the Manchester faithful before I let you go and let you get back to work as for Friday night? What would you like to say to them, Coach?
They're a passionate crowd. They bring the noise, and it's going to be one of those games that you don't want to miss. You want to be there, see it in person. Get out there, support our community, support the kids, and let's just go have some fun. We're not going to guarantee a win. I'll never do that, but I can guarantee that we're going to play our tails off, and it's going to be a lot of fun on Friday night.
Perfect, Coach. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to talking to you here in the future as Manchester gears up for another playoff run.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.